Oh my god, it finally happened. Fans have been plaguing the Xenoblade tweets for weeks now, asking for just the tiniest smidge of information about when we can expect Wave 2 of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, and fellow racers, it finally happened. This morning, Nintendo dropped a trailer that shows that the DLC will be dropping on August 4th, 2022. So let's check out the announcement trailer so you can get my thoughts on what we've actually gotten so far and what I would like to see going forward. Oh man, this was a breath of fresh air, let me tell you. So, looking at the tracks here, I'm just going to tell you what these are right now because I don't want to watch the entire trailer in this video because it'd be kind of pointless. You can just watch the trailer on your own. I'll put a link to it in the description. So we've gotten New York Minute. So this is a New York Minute from Mario Kart Tour. Mario Circuit 3 from Super Nintendo. Kalimari Desert from Nintendo 64. Waluigi Pinball, finally, from Mario Kart DS. We've got Sydney Sprint from Tour, GBA Snowland, Mushroom Gorge, and a brand new track called, let me see if I can find it again. What's that called? Sky High Sunday. So this is a kind of like Ninja Hideaway, where it's a track that's been developed specifically. It's like a new track that is kind of like specifically developed for Tour, but it's not actually going to release in Tour till a later date. So I'm kind of going to just let this play out in the background while I give my thoughts on what we've gotten so far. So overall, I think things are pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what we got. I'm happy that we finally got Waluigi Pinball, although I think that course is going to be a nightmare at a time trial. But yeah, I think what I would have to say is that my overall and first impressions are I'm pretty pleased with what we're seeing so far. I think that the graphics do leave a little bit to be desired. We're going to touch on that in just a second when we get to Mushroom Gorge. But you can see, for example, like that, you can see if we look at, this is the shot of Mario Circuit, these red and white track barriers, still kind of very flat looking design compared to something that you would see in GBA Mario Circuit, for example. But one thing that I will point out once we move on to Mushroom Gorge. So what we'll do is we'll pause here and look, you can see the grass has textures. It's amazing. The game is good now. I'm just kidding. I think it is a step up in quality from what we got in the Wave 1 DLC. But, you know, you can still see things like the rocks still have this very flat kind of appearance. Now, I don't want to dote on the graphics too much again, because I think that it's not as big of a deal as it was in Wave 1. And I think that, like I said, I actually prefer the new art style for a lot of the newer courses because I think it fits the aesthetic really well. But I also think that for courses like Waluigi Pinball, it's also not that big of a deal if the graphics aren't like super amazing, because it's sort of a goofy course, right? It's supposed to be a little bit more cartoony and fun. So I actually kind of appreciate what they did with the course here, especially because I have played it on Tour, and I can say that it is a step up in quality from that. But yeah, what do you all think about that? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I think a lot of people will probably think I'm already spending too much time on this, so let's move on and talk about some other stuff. So let's talk strategy for a second. We obviously can't get too far into the weeds on this because the courses haven't dropped yet, but there were some things that I thought were kind of interesting to point out. So first of all, Kalimari Desert. There's this little ramp off to the side here, and there's another one towards the end of the lap that you'll see if you watch the whole trailer. And there's some kind of shortcut, some interesting no-item shortcut potential there. I'm kind of curious to see where this ramp actually leads. Is it supposed to just clear this bit of off-road here, or is it supposed to take you all the way over to the track here? Because that'll be kind of interesting to see in terms of how useful that shortcut actually is. And also, for those who don't know, in Mario Kart 64, there's actually it's like a hard-coded shortcut where if you use a star inside the tunnel, like the train tunnel where this train is going, it actually helps you like complete a lap. Or I forget the exact details of it, but I wonder if there's going to be anything interesting that they do with the train as well, or if it's just supposed to get in your way and add some more cycle-based hell, kind of like we saw in the 64 version. One thing I think is actually really cool is this bit on Mushroom Gorge here. So there's this little glider mushroom. For those who haven't played Mushroom Gorge, these blue mushrooms actually behave like gliders. So once you bounce off it, you'll hit a glider. And one thing that's really cool is that they have coins over here and item boxes over here. And I think that adds a really interesting bit of strategy, kind of like on Paris Promenade, where there's split paths, and one path you can get items and the other one you can't, but it's a lot faster. It seems to be kind of a similar dynamic here, and it'll be kind of interesting to see how that plays out in online races. I'm assuming that this is going to be something where in time trials you're basically going to grab the coins on lap 1 and then you're just going to skip it entirely on lap 2 and 3. But there's a lot of interesting potential for creating unique competitive situations online that I think is going to be very cool to watch play out. One thing I haven't talked about with Waluigi Pinball is that it doesn't seem like there are any shortcuts on this track. I might have just missed it, but this definitely seems like it's going to be a really hardcore running track, kind of like Wario Stadium. So it's going to be kind of a nightmare to time trial, but it seems like it'll be a really fun course to pick. Very different, because like right now, a lot of the courses that we get for running tracks are kind of boring looking. So this will be an interesting one to actually be able to mix into competitive gameplay every once in a while, I think. Now I want to close out the video by talking about some things that we already have and what we can expect to get. So I put together this spreadsheet that has all of the courses that we have gotten, all the actual retro courses that we've gotten in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe so far. All the yellow ones are courses that came with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so these are courses that came from previous entries in the franchise. And then orange corresponds to Wave 1, so which retro courses do we get in Wave 1, and green corresponds to what we've just been announced in Wave 2. I have some of the tour specific courses listed down here as well. It's kind of not obvious how to deal with those, so I'm not putting them in here in this main list for now. And I've also got off to the side kind of how many courses we are still missing. So, you know, in Mario Kart 64, we currently have 6 tracks that have been announced. Or we currently have 6 tracks that are going to be in the DLC, so that leaves 10 courses from Mario Kart 64 that are not currently in here yet. Now, the interesting thing is that every course in the franchise so far, aside from Super Nintendo, has about 4 or 5 courses. Mario Kart 64 got a lot of love. It has 6 courses from that game that have been included in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, or, you know, I guess 5 plus the one that's going to be in there from Wave 2. But Super Nintendo doesn't really have anything in it, which I'm kind of fine with because the Super Nintendo courses are kind of boring. I'm a little bit surprised that they picked Mario Circuit 3 as one of the retro courses instead of Bowser's Castle or something like that, because the Mario Circuit courses tend to be pretty boring. So, you know, not super thrilled about that, but whatever, it is what it is. Now, the interesting thing is that if you look at the number of orange and green boxes that are in this spreadsheet here, there are 5 orange boxes and 5 green boxes. And what that means is that so far in waves 1 and 2, we've gotten 5 courses that showed up from previous entries in the franchise, and 3 that were either developed specifically for Tour or will show up in Tour at a later date. Now, it's a bit unfortunate because if that trend holds, then we can expect to see about 20 more courses from previous entries in the franchise, and there's 84 courses that haven't yet been included. So we're not going to get as much actual retro content as we thought we were going to get. But I mean, they are developing new courses, which is always fun to see. And there are not that many great retro courses that I really do want to see. There are a handful that I really hope we get in future entries. So what are my top 5 picks for what I really want to see in the DLC? So I think it's no secret that I really like Maple Treeway, and I hope that it shows up in future installments and future waves of the DLC. One thing I did notice as well, though, is that, so for this wave, they just released Waluigi Pinball, which was like the headlining course in Wave 2 of the DLC. They spent a lot of time focusing on that one, and if I had to guess, in the rest of the waves, they'll probably have one big release like that. I'm not surprised they didn't put Maple Treeway in this one along with Waluigi Pinball, because they probably want to space it out and keep the hype going for new waves of the DLC. So in terms of what we're going to see in future waves of the DLC, I mean, it's almost certain that Maple Treeway has to be in there. They're going to pick courses that everybody's been asking for because they want to draw more people in, right? So given that, I would expect Maple Treeway to be one of them. I would also expect Airship Fortress or Wario Shipyard or even Wario Coliseum, because those are 3 that I have seen people talking about a lot. But in terms of what I actually want, so I've already said Maple Treeway is one of the ones I really want to see the most. And this might come as a surprise to people given how much I rage about Bowser's Castle in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I actually do want to see the DS version of Bowser's Castle in a future wave of the DLC, just because it's really cool. It looks really awesome. I've seen time trials of it, and it looks like it'll be really annoying if it comes out, but if it does, it'd be really fun to play. And perhaps for some more surprising picks, I actually kind of want to see DK Jungle Parkway in a future wave of the DLC for Mario Kart 64. I like the track, I like the way it's laid out, I like the music, and it would be awesome to not have a DK themed course that is DK Jungle in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because I hate that track so much. I also want to see Koopa Cape, just because that's another really cool course that I think there's a lot of potential to really bring it to life in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, given just, you know, the power of the Switch. But the last course that I actually want to see is Shy Guy Bazaar. I know that's a really weird one. No one really talks about it. I just think Shy Guy is one of my favorite Mario Kart characters, and I would love to have a Shy Guy, you know, a non-Shy Guy Falls Shy Guy track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Wave 2 of the DLC. Again, it is coming out August 4th. I will be streaming all day. I'll be going through Turnip Cup and Propeller Cup and doing the time trials, etc., etc. If I can, I'm going to be trying to reach out to some other YouTubers to get maybe like a collaborative stream going on. That way we can all play the courses together and you know, just have a great time. But my favorite thing, as many of my longtime viewers will know, is I love to play games with viewers on stream. If that's something you're interested in, make sure to follow me over there, because I love playing with viewers, and I will be doing that for at least half the day. So you're gonna have a chance to play the new DLC, even if you haven't purchased it yet. So I don't know if a lot of people know this, but if I open up a lobby and I have the DLC purchased, you can play the new tracks even if you haven't purchased it. So again, if it's something you're interested in, make sure to follow me over there so that we can all play together. But that's going to be it from me for today, everyone. Let me know down in the comments what you think. What are some courses that you really want to see in future waves of the DLC? And are you happy with what we got so far? I really hope to hear from you all, and thanks again for watching, and I will hopefully see you all on August 4th.